Okay, and then take your arms out to the side in a horseshoe shape. There we go. Lovely. Looking to your right forearm. So trying to line your nose with your forearm as closely as you can, and then looking around to the left forearm. And then back around to the right. And back round to the left. When you look to the right, point your left forearm down. And then when you look to the left, point your right forearm down. And then again, turning your head as you turn the forearm. Trying to keep your upper arm bones level with your shoulders. So your upper arm bone rotates in the shoulder socket. Going another of those each way. Both arms point up and your gaze back to the center again. Gonna imagine you've got a line from your thumbs going straight through the temples. So as your forearms tip back, your head goes back slightly. Roll your eyes to look up to the ceiling. And then as your arms tip down, lower your head down so you're looking down towards your feet. Inhale as your arms tip back, lifting the chest. Exhaling as your arms tip forwards, looking to your feet. Inhale, arms tip back. So this is kind of the range of movement I want you to maintain with your head and chest. Now see if the arms can go a bit further. So you don't need to take your head further back, but see if your arms can rotate further. So now your hands will push back further. And the hands will drop back further. Just feel you're trying to mobilize in your upper back. So see if you can get some extension in the upper back and then a little flexion in the upper back. We're barely moving the hips or legs. One more of those. Lifting your gaze back to center. And then take both forearms down, take them behind, and either holding opposite hands, wrists, forearms, or elbows if you can take them a bit further over. And then press your waistline back against your forearms. So you're feeling by pressing your waistline back against your forearms, you're starting to apply some abdominal engaging. Feel your abdominal wall is helping your spine or your small of your lower back to press against your arms. Keep that feeling of engaging across the abdominal wall. And then we're going to release your right arm back up into the half horseshoe position. Bring your hand across to the left ear and just draw your head toward the right, just enough to feel a gentle stretch. And you might feel the stretches in the side of the neck, anywhere from behind the ear all the way down to the side of the neck. And some of you might even feel it go down into your shoulder and upper arm. When your head comes back up to center, take your right arm all the way down by your side, your left hand catching hold of your right arm, and the head goes over to the left this time. And your hand holding the right arm is just encouraging the right arm to lengthen. And you're continuing to just feel the abdominal wall pressing the small of your lower back against your forearm. And then back up to center where both arms come behind again. And see if you can slide your arms long, interlace your fingers. Your right arm bends up against your lower back again, and the left hand comes round to the right ear. Draw your head across to the left, just enough, so you can feel a light to medium stretch in the right side of your neck or shoulder or arm. Then as you release your left arm down, the right hand just catches hold of the left arm around the elbow, just above the elbow, and then drop your head over to the right. Just holding the arm so you can pull it down a bit longer. And watch out for your body tipping over to the side, just your head, like you've got a heavy right ear. Head that way, Ali. That's it. As you come back up to center, take your arms behind again and see if you can extend your arms, interlace your fingers, and stretch your hands away from your bottom. Your arms dangle down, lower your chin towards your chest, soften in your knees and roll down. Inhale at the bottom of the roll down. Exhale as you roll your way back up again, thinking of hugging your belly towards your spine and then pushing your chest away from your feet. As your gaze comes forward, we're going to lift both arms up, lift your gaze up. And then your arms go down, gaze down and roll down. Think first of all of your chest moving towards your feet, and then think about your tummy moving towards your thighs. Inhale your head towards your toes. And exhale, pull your belly into your lower back, pulling your lower back up first, and then push your feet down as if you're pushing your chest away from your feet. As your gaze comes forwards, arms float forwards, and see if you can keep the abdominal wall pressing into the lower back. Arms come down. If you need support in this, you can put your hands on your legs as you roll down, if there's any tenderness or any pinching in your back. Otherwise, arms hang loosely. Inhale at the bottom, head hanging loosely. Exhale, rolling up, belly pulling to the lower back to start the roll up in the lower back, and then feet pushing your chest away from the floor. One more time, arms come forwards, inhale, gazing up. Arms come down, looking down, and then again, you feel your chest moving towards your feet first, then your ribs coming down, and then you tip your belly towards your thighs. Staying here this time, hold on to opposite elbows, and hold your elbows in a way that you're trying to make them feel heavier from your arms. So elbows dropping down from the shoulders, shoulders dropping away from the sides of the waist, sides of the waist lengthening away from your hips. Come down onto hands and knees. Okay, cat-cow to begin with. So you're moving into extension as you lift your gaze and your bottom, and moving into flexion as you round your spine to the ceiling. Inhaling as you gaze forwards, and exhaling as you hug the belly up to your spine. 3 more of those. Moving your spine so it's fluid with your breath. 2 more. When you round your spine to the ceiling, push the ground away, through your thighs into your knees, through your arms into your hands. 1 more. When you round your spine this time, sit your bottom back to your heels and take child's pose with your arms extended in front of you, about as wide as the mat. Spread your fingers and press a little more firmly into your hands so your arm bones feel like they press down toward the mat, but keeping them off the mat. So you're pushing your arm bones toward the mat, but keeping them straight so they don't touch the mat. I'm going to work a little into the back of the legs. So back up onto hands and knees. Anyone who's got any wrist issues, you can do this next bit on your forearms if you need to be off your wrists. So otherwise, we're on straight arms. And I'd like you to come into a straight, flat tabletop back. So you're neither feeling the collapsing of your belly down or the rounding of your spine to the ceiling. See if you can get a nice long line from your head to your tailbone. And then imagine your forearms across your lower back and your abdominal wall, just gently pressing your belly as if you're pressing into your imaginary forearms. Keep your gaze ahead of your hands. Straighten your right leg out behind with the toes touching the floor. You're going to lift your leg and tap your toes out wide so the leg opens outwards, and then lift and tap it back to where it was. Again, lift, tap out wide, lift, tap back into the center. Good, so we're going to go 6 more of those, keeping your head still, keeping the sides of your waist even. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Bring that knee down, straighten your left leg out behind, toes on the floor. When you push into the ball of your foot, feel it helps you to lengthen your tailbone more and to hug your belly in more. And then tap your leg out wide and center. Out wide and center. Try and keep your toes pointing down, your heel pointing up. So we're not turning the leg. The leg is simply going out and in. 4, 4. Keep the head still. Keep pressing through both arms. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Knee back down. Rest in a child's pose this time with your arms by your side, palms up. Your spine. Please remember you can go to forearms if the wrists are an issue. Spread your fingers. That's another way to help support the wrists. So fingers out wide. Straighten your right leg behind. Push into the ball of the foot so your belly hugs in. The sides of your waist and the small of your lower back pushing upwards slightly. Ribs tucked in. Now lift the leg up a few inches off the ground. So we're going to do the same thing but off the ground. Imagine the ground now is lifted a few inches higher. Go out wide with your leg and back to center without touching the floor. Wide. Center. So you're keeping the leg more at about hip height this time without letting the waist drop. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3. Keep sides of the waist even. 2. Keep the right hip facing the floor. 1. Center and then knee to the floor. Straighten your left leg with the toes on the ground to begin with. As you press into the toes on the floor, the leg gets straighter. Your abdominal muscles engage. And then lift the leg to about hip height, no higher. And then open and close. It's like your toes are running along a surface parallel to the ground. 5 more. 5, 5, 4. Watching out for the head falling. Try and keep your gaze slightly forwards. 3, 3. Left hip staying facing the floor. And 1, 1. Back to center. And this time lie on your tummy with your head resting on your hands. And just give your hips a little rock side to side. Bend your legs, take your knees wide. And rock your feet to the right, to the left, right, left. Feel the thigh bones rotating in the hip joint. So that means your pelvis might turn slightly. And then as your legs come to center, bring your knees in together. Keep your right leg bent, lower your left leg flat to the floor. See if you can reach down with your right hand and catch hold of your right ankle or foot or trouser leg. And then press the top of your thigh to the mat. Stretch your knee longer within the skin. So you feel the surface of the skin of your thigh stretching longer. And then switch sides. So your head rests on your right hand, you catch hold of the left foot. And you're just pressing the top of the left hip thigh bone down into the mat. And feeling the skin of the thigh stretching down toward the knee and the knee reaching longer within the skin. And then release that leg, rest your head on both hands again. Have your legs stretching nice and long so your feet are pointed. Straighten your knees more with the feet still on the floor. And then feel the small of your lower back ever so slightly rising to imaginary forearms on your lower back. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Inhale. Exhale, lift your right leg, keeping it long like it's stretching and lifting. Inhale, lower it. Exhale, lift your left leg so it reaches long as it lifts. Inhale, lower.
Exhale, can you lift your right leg without the small of your lower back collapsing? Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift the left leg without the small of your lower back collapsing. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So there's a feeling of lightness around your belly button. When your leg lifts correctly, you will feel the back of your upper leg into your glutes, into your buttock muscles working. If you're not feeling that, it's a suggestion that you might be letting your back collapse, or you might be bending at the knee to lift the leg. Think of lifting from the hip joint. Your glute muscles are an essential part of good posture and part of your core structure. So feel you're working your glutes by moving from the hip joint rather than the knee joint. The knee joint stays straight. Okay, when you've finished on the left, relax your legs down. Change the angle of your arms so you're in the horseshoe shape that we had earlier. And your elbows are about in line with your armpits. Thumbs are about in line with your temples. And just slide the elbows in a little so you've got some wriggle room in your shoulders. Keep both legs on the floor. Draw the belly in a little. And then lift your head and chest a few inches from the floor. So you're looking at the line that would be between your thumbs if someone had drawn a line on the floor. Inhale as you lower. And exhale as you lift. Trying to keep the knees straight. Inhale as you lower. Now imagine the ground is very fragile. So when you lift, you're not lifting by pushing into your arms. You're lifting using the lengthening and strength in your spine. Inhaling as you lower. Exhaling as you lift, your arms nice and light on the ground. You maybe feel there's like 20% support through your forearms. You don't need much more than that. Okay, next time you lift, stay lifted with the forearms still on the floor. Get your head to just follow the natural upward curve of your upper back. Keeping the legs very straight, we're going to add those single leg lifts. So hollow in the belly and then lengthen and lift your right leg. Inhale, lower. Lift the left leg. Inhale, lower. See if you can keep the tummy really light on the ground. Like you're trying not to make too much of a dent with your belly, even if it is. And again, feel that lengthening and lifting of your leg is more important than the height of it. Watch out for pushing into your forearms. Christine, are you pushing into your arms? Bring your elbows a bit further forwards. That's it. Do one more each side. And again, you finish on a left. When you've done that last one, hands slide back, push to a child's pose. So you get a little stretch in your glutes and your lower back. We'll have the arms reaching in front initially. And then we'll give the spine a little lateral flexion and stretch as you angle your chest over your right thigh. Use your right hand for your head to rest on as your left arm reaches diagonally over the mat. Left arm reaching diagonally toward the right side of the mat. We'll see if you can again spread your left hand, press your left palm down onto the mat or just off the mat if you've just gone a bit further. So your arm bones are very straight. And then at the same time, try and flare out your left shoulder blade, your left lung, your left ribs, left arm reaching across to the right side of your mat. Okay, that's it. Good, let's do the other side. So angle your chest over your left thigh, rest your head on your left hand, and then diagonally reach across with your right arm this time. It's not just the arm reaching over, and it's not just the spine reaching over. It's an alignment of the two, like you're merging that line. Just playing around with the pressure you place through your right hand to develop more sensation in the stretch and the opening down your right side.
And then coming back into center, you've got that block for your head. If you're at home, a cushion will do. And take the block at this end of your mat for your head, and let's turn to face the window for chalk circles. So lying on your side, facing the window direction, head toward me. Yep, you've got your knees bent up. And you've got your palms together initially. Head on the front edge of the block, so move the block back. Lengthen through your spine. And then we're going to circle your top arm upwards, overhead. Round behind, turning your chest. Downwards, over your hip. Back round again for the hands to meet. And then continue, inhaling for the first half of your circle and exhaling for the second half of your circle. Turn the other way, Ali, so facing that way. No, Ali, head this way and look that way. Let me move you. There you go. That's it. So you're here and head, you're looking this. All right. See if you can stick your top knee to your bottom knee and do 2 more in this direction. Remembering to let your head and chest turn with you. And 1 more. Okay, and then when your arms come in front of you, pause. Your top hand is just going to rest on the floor in front of you. And as you push down into your top hand on the floor in front of you, I'll just come around to that side of the room so you can see what I mean a bit better. I think you've all got it though. So at the moment, you're like that with 2 bent legs and you were there. So you're just taking that hand onto the floor in front instead and push down into that hand or fingertips so that it helps you to lift the bottom curve of your waist. Bend your elbow, push down into your hand. So it's a bent arm, pushing into the floor with your hands to lift the curve of your waist away from the ground. Yeah, bent arm, Ria, bent, that's it. So your elbow's up to the ceiling. Yeah, it's all right. Just hand in front of you there. There you go. That's it. It's all right. Now straighten your top leg out about hip height without letting the curve of your waist drop. Pull your toes up towards you and then bend it back up again so it's hovering above the other bent leg. Straighten your leg away and bend it into hover. Straighten it away. Keep the curve of your waist lifted as you move 2 more of those. Pushing away in line with your back, bending it back up. Pushing away in line with your back, bending up and hovering there for 5 breaths, keeping your toes flexed, the top leg bent above the bottom leg, hovering in the bent position, Sandy. The bent, that's straight, bend it, bend the leg, there you go. Now hover it there. Maybe it's the wording I'm using tonight. Keep the leg bent, not straight, bent, there we go. And keep it there, stop it moving. Keep it there, hover. Now we're starting our 5 breaths. Well done, everyone who's already there. 4, keep it bent, Roger. Keep it bent. 3. Are you just teasing me, you lot, tonight? 2. And 1. Good, catch hold of your ankle and point the knee away. Press the hip point forwards. Try and stretch into the front of your thigh. Good. Release that leg, swivel round onto hands and knees. You can leave your block there, head this direction. Spread out your fingers. And then take your, which was the top leg there? The left. Take your left leg out behind as you lift your gaze forwards and bring your left knee under towards your nose. Inhale, lift the leg up behind. Exhale, knee towards your nose. Inhale, lift the leg behind. Exhale, knee to nose. Do that 1 more time. Inhale, leg lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Now straighten the leg out behind with the toes on the floor. Straighten your knee. Look just ahead, maybe on the block in front of you. And hover your right knee an inch off the ground, like you're sucking your right thigh bone into the hip joint. If you need it to stay on the floor for extra support, that's fine. Otherwise, you're holding a 1-leg plank with the other knee hovering off the ground. And you're hugging your belly in to try and bring that knee off the floor. Push the ground with your hands, 2 more breaths. Have a sense of leveling your hips. 1 more breath. Nice, lower down. And then turn onto your other side. So you're looking to the left for chalk circles the other side. Palms start together, knees start together, and your toes are pointing forwards. So if your toes aren't pointing forward, you bring your shins forwards a bit more. Spine nice and long, arms straight rear, palms together. And then start your circle up and round when you're ready. Okay. Good. If you find you're falling off the block with your head, you know you need to move the block, not your head. And the circle ideally is circling on the floor or as close to the floor as your arm range of movement can be. At some point, your hand will break contact with the floor, especially when you go over your hip, but maybe earlier. Now, help your arm by turning your chest more and turning your head more, so that you're not just tugging around the shoulder joint, but you're getting a nice rotation in your spine too. You keeping a really big lift here. Let that relax a little bit in this, and then just see if it aids that circle a little more. You don't have to be fully lifted and engaged the whole way around. Does it go a bit further? Yeah. Keeping the knees together. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that is hard. Let's go 2 more. When your hands come past each other, we've got 1 more to go. When your hands come past each other, your head turns all the way back round, so you're looking forwards at the end of each one. Last time. And you finish off the chalk circles with your arms in front of you. Okay, let's see if we can get it on this side with just verbal cues. So your top hand, bend the elbow and bring your hand on the floor in front of your ribs, with your elbow pointing up a little, and push down into your hand or your fingertips so the curve of your waist lifts slightly. Get longer in your spine. So the curve of the waist is lifted because you've engaged the side muscles and your spine's supporting muscles so that you don't collapse to the ground. Lift your bottom leg a few inches or a couple of inches away from your top leg and flex your toes up towards you. Inhale as you push the leg away. Exhale as you bend your knee back up to hover. And keep going. It doesn't actually matter which way you inhale or exhale. Yeah, so you're straightening and then bending back up to hover. Your foot is flexed, like you're pressing the sole of your foot down to the far wall. See if you can do it whilst keeping the spine steady. So there's barely any forward or backward movement in the spine. 1 more. And then we're holding it in the bent position and hovering it there. Now, I did say 5 breaths on the other side, but by the time we all got there, it was probably more like 10. So let's aim for the same here. Knees both up higher in front of you. That's it on that one as well. We'll flex more at the hip. Let's go 5 breaths from there. 4, 3, bend up a bit more. 2, 1, and then catch hold of your foot and stretch the knee away. Feel like your hip is trying to point down the thigh bone into your knee. When you release that side, come round to hands and knees. You're taking your right leg out behind with an inhale and bringing your right knee underneath with an exhale, rounding your back. So it's cat-cow with a leg extension. The toes are pointed so that they don't catch on the floor and to help the elongation of your leg. 1 more. Last tuck under
And then your leg extends out with the toes on the floor. You press into the toes to firm the belly and to lengthen your spine. You're gazing just over your block. And then hover the left knee by pulling that left thigh bone into the hip joint and feel the hips are level. Keep hugging your belly in so it feels like the tummy muscles are pulling that knee an inch off the ground. Hold for 3. Keep pressing the ground away with your hands so the chest doesn't collapse. Hold for 2. Try not to look underneath, otherwise your back will overround. Hold for 1. Your knee goes down, and then we're just going to bring both knees together. Either cross your ankles and sit back over your feet, or swing your legs round in front of you. You don't need your blocks unless you normally have one for behind your head, so you can just put the block to the side of your mat. And then come down onto your back with your arms in the horseshoe shape, elbows about in line with your chest, nipple line. If the back of your hands don't rest on the floor, but it's comfortable to be there, then it's fine. But you're aiming for the back of your hands to get to the ground. Take your feet wide. Let your knees go to the right and turn your gaze to your left forearm. Let your knees go to the left and gaze to your right forearm. Knees to the right, turn and look to the left forearm. Knees to the left, turn and look to the right forearm. Repeat that a couple more times each way. So we're rotating the pelvis one way, the head the other way. Finishing with your knees going to the left. And when you've done the last one with knees to the left, you come to center and pause. Your arms are going to stay there. Bring your feet in a bit narrower so they're in hip distance apart, no wider. In position for shoulder bridge. Okay, inhale and exhale, roll through your spine up into shoulder bridge until you feel you are on that point of your back, which is in line with your elbows, no higher. And the front of your ribs lay level with the waistline. From here, stretch your hips through your thighs towards your knees. So you're stretching down the skin of your thighs out through your knees, and then roll your spine back down. As you roll down, just feel a landing evenly. When you land, inhale, exhale, roll back up again, lifting your bottom first, then your lower back, then the middle of your back, and then you stop when you reach the level line with your elbows. Inhale, stretching the knees away here, and exhale, roll your way back down, keeping a nice evenness. Try and avoid too much rocking around. Inhale, land, exhale, roll up. Keep going. If you lose the breath with this, just as long as you're breathing, that's the most important thing with it. So just see if you can keep the coordination of the breath, but if you forget what the coordination is, it's fine. So as you're rolling, see if every one can be better than the last. Can your legs be steadier than they were in the last one? Can your spine flex more with each one? So it's less of like a flat back lifting and a flat back lowering, and you're trying to really articulate the movement from one spinal joint to the next spinal joint. Go one more round. Have you gone wider with your feet for any particular reason? Okay, so bring your feet in a bit narrower to me and then a bit closer to you, about there. Now try that one with your feet there. This is your last one that you're coming down from. So you're more straight down into your feet there and keep a presence down in the big toe mound, that's it. So there's almost like a little squeezing into my fists, yeah. Once you're all the way down, going to bring the right knee in towards your chest. And then curl your head and shoulders up. Straighten your right hand to the right ankle and bring your left hand just above the knee. Okay, and squeeze that leg in to lift your chest a bit higher.
And see if you can hover the left foot off the floor so that, a bit like when we were hovering the knee off the ground in plank, the thigh bone pulls toward the back wall of your abdomen. As you hover that left foot, if it's pulling in your back, you just let a little bit of that left foot stay on the floor and just keep it there. So right hand is on the right ankle, left hand is just above the knee. You're pulling that leg in, you're keeping your chest curled. Another breath. And then lower down back into your horseshoe shape of the arms. Bend the left leg up. Lift your head and shoulders, left hand to the left ankle, right hand above the knee. Pull on the leg so you're compacting the leg in and curling your chest up. And then see if you can get lighter and lighter in your right foot so it just hovers off the floor. Your shoulders are down away from your ears and your elbows are outwards slightly. Again, the leg that's hovering off the ground is just a fraction off the floor and you're drawing that into the core. Back down to the floor and then arms back out to cactus shape or horseshoe shape. Now we're going to alternate the legs. So again, lift your right leg in as you curl up, right hand to the ankle, left hand to the knee. Hover the left foot and try extending your left leg away. We're going to switch from this position to the other leg, just gently pulling that leg in and keeping your chest lifted and switch. So I want you to imagine that there's like a big dartboard that your leg is reaching towards each time, and try and reach to the bullseye center of that dartboard. So your leg's reaching to the same spot each time. Make it like a spongy one as well. So you're kind of piercing your toe into the spongy center of that imaginary dartboard. Lots of imaginary things going on there. But you want to really feel there's a reach through your leg and a compact draw in with the bent knee. We're going 5, 5, 4, 4. Oh, sorry, just the other way, that's it. 3, 3, it doesn't matter. 2, 2, and 1, 1. And your knees come in, your head goes down, your feet go wide, arms back out to horseshoe shape. With your feet wide on the mat, drop both knees to the right, look to your left forearm and angle your right forearm down, and you can rest your hand either on your inner right thigh or on your tummy. That's it. You're looking to your left forearm and your right forearm is angled down, resting on your inner thigh or your tummy. Now feel you're stretching from your left hip down your left thigh as the left knee reaches longer and gets a little heavier. Smoothly coming up through center, your knees fall over to the left, your forearms change. So now you're looking to your right forearm, which is pointing up. Your left forearm points down and it can rest on your inner left thigh or onto your tummy. Turning your right ear toward the floor. Breathe and relax your right shoulder. Then feel your right thigh reaching away toward the knee and the knee stretching further away and staying heavy. And then we're back into center. Straighten your arms all the way back. Reach your legs out long. Wriggle yourself long. Take your feet wide and bring your hands behind your head. Lift your head and shoulders, look down the middle of your legs. And as you lift your head and shoulders, feel your lower back pressing toward the floor. See if you can get your hands around the base of your skull and wriggle your head up a little more, lengthen out the back of your neck, and then relay yourself down with a longer spine. Relax your arms down, palms upwards. So your legs your arms are just a bit wider than your waist. Palms turned up, shoulders relaxed. Closing your eyes. Let there be a few silent sighs behind the breath. Feel exactly how you would do if you let out a loud sigh. but let it be an inner release. Like you can hear the cells of your body sighing, relax. Your arms now. Bring your attention without moving anything into the tips of your thumbs. No need to move anything, just feel like your attention is sitting at the tip of your thumb, left and right. And then down the index finger, so your attention now reaches the tip of your index finger. You don't need to move it, just let your mind's attention travel there. And then it travels down the middle finger until it reaches the tip of your middle finger. Tip of your middle finger alive and awake with your awareness. Let your attention go down the ring finger. As it reaches the tip of your ring finger, the more your attention sits there, it's like a light that's been switched on at the tip of your finger. And then finally down your little finger until you reach the tip of your little finger. Your awareness like a light. Now the whole of your hands, so the center of your palm and all your fingertips, feel like a ball of light. No need to stretch them or move them. And then wriggle your hands, make fists and stretch, make fists and stretch, make fists and stretch. So you're in and out with your fingers. And give them a shake out in the air. And bend your legs in so your feet are flat on the floor. And then when your knees come into your chest, wrap your arms around your knees and circle your knees open and closed. And then the other way. Make your way up to sitting. When you come up to sitting, bring the soles of your feet together. So you're in a long diamond that way. Put your hands behind you. And I just want you to try and not pull the legs in closer, but to lift your waist longer. Okay, when the heels come in closer, it starts to get more in the inner thighs. But we've done a bit more for the glutes than the inner thighs tonight. So if we have the feet further away, it gets more into the back of the hips. So as you wriggle longer in your waist, and I want you to try and send your waistline forwards a little. So your hands can stay behind as you just tip forwards at the hips until you feel a little stretch going round. Might still be on your inner thighs, especially if that's a tight area for you. But it gives the glutes a little bit of a stretch as well. And then you come back up, hands to the knees, bring them in, hands to join. Well done. Thank you very much.